I feel that I terpanggil to make a statement on PMX punya alleged outburst, losing his school to the Indian student, that raises the question on when will the quota system be replaced by a merit-based system, a meritocracy system. Now, to this question, what PMX responded, he said that this has got to be looked at from the social contract perspective. Now, many people want to debate, but our constitution is clear on the special positions of Malays and the respective interests, the legitimate interests of the non-Malays. Jadi, whether we like it or not, the constitution makes a segregation between the Malays and the natives of Sabah Sarawak dengan the non-natives. Jadi, it makes a racial segregation and different standards are accorded to both. But of course, people can argue tak ada sebut 30% quota ke apa dalam constitution. Of course, tak ada. Tapi ada juga artikel yang mengatakan yang the king, sebab tu ada Sultan Agung Melayu. The king will decide apa proportion yang betul. And obviously he acts on advice and the government devise and decide 30% ke 7% ke whatever to give effect to that provision of the constitution that was designed as agreed by our founding fathers, where it will be left to the king punya discretion to decide what is reasonable. So the king does that under the advice of the government. So therefore nampak tak, it all depends on which government advise the king. Whether it's the Madani government or the past Perikatan government, which government advises the king. So for now, sejak lama dah dulu, the quota of 30% is there. It is the pie of the Malays. Whether deserving ke tak deserving ke, the pie of the Malays. And the Malays expect it to be there. And whether we like it or not, in this particular scenario, the Malays are spot for choices. Dia boleh pilih PN, dia boleh pilih BH, dia boleh pilih muda, dia boleh pilih mana pun, and dia boleh pilih mana yang benefit dia most. PH is all about Malay. Dia nak benefit maximum to Malays. Therefore, naturally, Malays will tend to gravitate to PN. Sama lah macam all the other races pun, they will tend to gravitate for which one that is best for them. That's why they prefer Madani government than PN government. Because PN government beri lebih pada Melayu, tak perlu langsung pasal China atau India. Dia punya partner gerakan Dominic tu pun dia sepak keluar daripada ceramah kat Penang. So they don't care. They don't care about the rights of the non-Malays. So because of that, for the same reason that non-Malays mostly support the Madani government and even some support Muda, there's the same reason why many Malays support PN. Understand that. Understand that basic punya motivation factor in any elections. Kalau tak faham, susah lah. You cannot read the situation. Jadi bila sekarang ni, satu budak India yang obviously reading from the script means it's prepared for her. It was prepared lama dah. She was reading. Reading pun tak betul. So bukan dia punya pikiran atau dia bukan. Ini somebody feeding her. Of course she most probably understand what she's requesting for. And she asked dengan suara lantang dan kuat, bila boleh digantikan? So this is a direct affront to the Malay punya rights, and it gives enormous credence to Mahathir punya proklamasi Melayu. Maknanya orang-orang asing, according to Mahathir, dah mempertikaikan dan question hak-hak Melayu, and nak ambil, nak tukar, bukan tanah Melayu lagi, nak ambil hak-hak kita, nak kurangkan. This will fit perfectly into the narrative of Mahathir. Therefore, this question on when this bumi quota punya system will be replaced is a question that should never be asked. Because likewise, the other side, the Mahathir punya side can even ask, when is the kewarganegaraan of the non-Malays and the non-Malays will expire? When will it stop where their children will get automatic warga negara? Because dah berapa lama dah. So therefore, it should stop. It should be need-based ke apakah. So this can invite this kind of questions. Jadi, whatever that was the consideration at the point of Merdeka, where the non-Malays dapat kewarganegaraan, the Malays got special position is there, and therefore how that special position is going to be articulated and quantified, that's where the king, the Agong, is given that discretion, and the Agong acts on the government of the day. Jadi the only variable that anyone can control, the Malays atau non-Malays, is to choose the government. Kalau government tu propose pada the king the right proportion ke apa ke whatever it is that gives special position to the Malays, Agong tends to follow. Tapi sekarang ni benda tu dah 30% daripada dulu sampai sekarang. Which government that comes to power will do something that will actually be perceived as working against the interest of the majority voters? Which government? Any government to remain as government must continue to enjoy the support of the majority of the voters. The minute you don't have the support of majority of voters, you cease to become government. And when you cease to become government, you don't rule anymore and you have no decision. Jadi kita kena decide collectively, Melayu, India, China, Sabah, Sarawak, kita kena decide siapa kita nak untuk govern kita. Jadi here what we have now, we have the Madani government that does not rock the boat and tukar those quota system, and they should not. Because if they touch that, therefore it will be seen. Don't forget, the Malays are looking at this. Dia kurangkan 30% to 29% pasal dia kata more equity. It is less by 1% to the Malays. Why would Malays choose a government yang mengurangkan when they can choose a government yang mungkin boleh tambah 30% jadi 40 or 50%? Understand that. It is not the question of fair ke, patut ke, reasonable ke. People will go for what benefit them most. This is the human nature of any person, especially those going to vote. So, bila kita nak vote pun untuk kita punya adun, kita pilih siapa yang boleh bawa paling banyak kemajuan, yang boleh bawa changes to kita punya lives. Again, it's all selfish reasons. And selfish reasons must be observed and understood. Jadi, bila perempuan tu tanya, Anwar Ibrahim boleh tanya, it fits perfectly into narrative of Mother. Jadi, kalau Anwar is nice about it, oh no, soon dia, in the future, not now. The Malays will see that. Maknanya ada future plans lah to remove kita punya bumi kota. This is how the Malays will perceive it. Ataupun Anwar kata, okay, we will come up with a system to counter. 30% kita come up juga, 30% untuk non-Malays, untuk Indian, untuk Cina kita come up juga. So how does the Malay sees it? Maknanya, this government is also devising plans to help the other races to even out whatever advantage yang dapat pada Melayu. So that's why Anwar kata it has to be case-to-case basis. Kalau betul-betul achiever, high achiever, appeal, and that's why kita consider kita bagi. So therefore, what this government or any government can do is to resolve the symptoms of that supaya the high achievers of the non-Malays are not disregarded, and we ensure kita bagi dia hak pengajian, and they can benefit in turn, jadi benefit pada negara, bina balik negara. Jadi as the government, as the Kementerian Pelajaran, government can do all kinds of things without touching that bumi kota tu. Bila soalan yang tu masuk, it totally ignores and disregard the social contract that is in the constitution. Constitution dah kata dah, even the Agong ada right to determine the level of proportion of this quota ke apa semua tu, what that is deemed reasonable. So itu hak Agong and itu hak Melayu. You question to replace with something, of course the Prime Minister cannot be nice about it, because if he's nice about it, he layan, this will be the narrative of Mahathir and gang. Nampak? This Prime Minister layan. We need to have a PM yang tak layan benda-benda macam ni, the questioning of the Malay punya rights. So therefore, that's how they respond. And bila dia respond, dia tak boleh be nice about it. And the girl should not even have asked the question. So to me, as far as PM, the way they answer was perfect. That's how the PM should react in order to debunk whatever tuduhan Mahathir on this government. Maknanya as far as this government is concerned, bumi kota stays. Nothing of Melayu punya pot is going to be disturbed. but they can create other opportunities and other things that will alleviate the misery or the difficulty of the non-Malays. On top of that, they will do things that will address B40, the welfare of the poor people, and also whatever is deserving to the high achievers, even though they may not enjoy the bumi status. Jadi this is the point, and orang nak marah, nak kata macam-macam pasal Anwar, dia masuk, dia tak fair, dia tak apa ni, dia tak care about the non-Malays, apa semua tu. Katalah, you say all that, but please know, when Anwar get brickbat for the stand he takes with regards to Bim Kota ke apa ke, the optics is very good for the Malay populace. Look at the comments and the feedback. Mereka semua puji Anwar, mereka suka Anwar, mereka suka that, and they are shifting away from Perikatan Nasional. Jadi kalau non-Malays have wisdom and foresight, they will see that this is better. Because as long as the government stay with this Madani government, this government cares for the non-Malays, and therefore they care for all, and they will do things to address all the symptoms of the perceived unfairness, even though these are clear provisions in the constitution. Tukar government kalau, then like Anwar says, then you see how they treat you, how you'll be dehumanized. Dominic Lau tu bukan dehumanized ke bila kena reject daripada Penang, sedangkan dulu depa Chief Minister of Penang. So kena tendang keluar daripada ceramah, and in the same breath PAS says that they will not marginalize the minority. Kalau you otak telur, percayalah PAS MPN. Tapi kalau you tak, then you should know, as far as the non-Malays are concerned, their best bet is to stay with this Madani government, and this Madani government will do whatever reforms and changes for the betterment of the nation that the majority voters permit. Kalau majority voters tak permit, they cannot do that, because if they do that, they will cease to become government. When they cease to become government, what kind of government will emerge? Right now, whatever alternatives we have is no better than Madani government. It will harm the harmony of the races. It will make the country more racist. It will desecrate kita punya economy even worse, and we will descend into pariahship internationally. So, decide, choose. Tepuk dada, tanya selera. If we are greedy for change, we want benda yang tak patut, tak deserving ataupun tak provided for, going against whatever was agreed to by our founding fathers. We want benda-benda bukan-bukan. We press on. If this government panders and cave in, you will see UMNO main supporters pun lari apa yang ada, and the Melayu main supporters just pull off from the Madani punya government. You dapat Perikatan Nasional, then good luck. There is no third option. Okay, MUDA is not even an option. Kalau dia menang semua seat pun, they cannot form government. So therefore, even for general election pun, kalau dia menang seat yang dia bertanding tu pun, they cannot form government. Okay, Malays generally will not vote for MUDA. Jadi to me, the only viable and acceptable punya option for me is Madani punya government, and so far they are doing well. There are many kind of reforms that is desirable. Certain kind of reform we should not ask and should not even moot for. That is my message, and therefore on this note, I am in full support on how kita punya PM responded, and he covered all bases and explained. Orang kutuk dia pasal apa cerita politik pada student. Apa student tu faham? Ya, maybe student tak faham. Tapi siapa yang prepare skrip untuk the student, guna student tu untuk tanya, nak ambush the PM, orang tu faham. So whatever that message pergi is not meant for the student. It's meant for the one that's pushing and guna that student. PMX is a seasoned politician. He knows exactly where this is coming from. He knows exactly that is not prepared by that little girl. And that little girl dipergunakan untuk benda ni. So it is a direct affront to the bumi punya rights, and is also challenging and creating the instability to the Madani government when you question and you raise up this kind of sensitive punya issues. It's sensitive because the bumi kota stays. It cannot be removed. Any government that dares to remove will cease to become the government. Any seasoned Prime Minister or government leader will know this fact. Siapa yang tak reti are naif and they have no right to even comment on governance.